Hey everyone. Oh, look at that. Okay, little flyaway hair. Um, I just wrapped up my third Party Nerdy After Hours podcast episode. This is driving me nuts. I'm like not centered on the screen. There we go. That's fine. Um, yeah, I just wrapped up my third episode. I am now following up with my writing sprint for today. I blessedly have a day today, one day, where I don't have a lot of day job work going on. And I took Thursday and Friday off, not only for my birthday, but because we have family coming in from out of town and I have to go pick up people from the airport and it's my birthday and it's graduation and all the things. So, I could have done my podcast and streaming on Thursday and Friday, but I just think that's just going to be a lot. It's just going to be a lot. And I know that I will have time very soon to be able to focus on creating more of a regular schedule for my sprints, for my podcasting. But for now, I'm just going to have to fit it in where I can fit it in. And so that means today. Today is the day, everyone. It's Tuesday. It's my accountability day on the week, which I reported on in my podcast. So if you want to hear all about how I do my accountability, you can go check that out. And it is now on all I say that. I say all podcasting platforms, but it's not on Apple yet. Apple is problematic. I need to go through and spend just more time and brain power getting my podcast set up there than I have this week. So it will be there soon. But for now, the podcast is everywhere else. So yay! Very excited about that. Also, I want to let y'all know if you don't listen to the podcast and you're joining here that I also have a coffee shop, a Ko-Fi coffee shop. So that is also set up. That should be in all my links, especially in my Twitch stream. I think there's a little area where you'll see a picture of Jones and like it's sad face Jones. And if you want to support him, go check out the coffee shop. I'm creating some membership tiers, some access to things that I create, things that I write, access to Fantastical Geographic, which is a collaborative project that I'm working on, and all the other things. I'm building it out, and then I will add some backlog of things that I've created as well. It's all going to be happening in its own time, which I will have more of after next week. So let's get to it. I've already done all my chatting. I've already done the podcast. I want to get to my productivity. I'm sure that you do too. If you're in the chat and you want to share what you are working on, please do that. What am I working on? Let's take a look at my list, my accountability productivity list. I mentioned in my podcast that I have started doing some updates to the game I'm designing, Farm to Table Frenzy. I have to do some minor map updates, and map is not my forte, which is why I have Doc, and he is amazing. But this is kind of one of those things where he wasn't at the last playtest, and I have kind of an overall vision for the update I want to see next. So I'm kind of struggling on my own to make a few minor updates for the next playtest. So I'll be working on that. But before that, I probably really need to get to my Doom Scroll updates. I submitted a short horror story to Whisper House Press, and they have asked for some edits, which they have graciously given me some time to do. But I know that that deadline is quickly approaching, and so I probably really just need to sit and do the dang updates. And that I think is going to take editing is just such a different, it plays with my brain in weird ways that just creating does not. And I'm sure that is the case for many other people. But what you're probably going to see is me staring at my screen and my wheel. You'll probably hear the gears just kind of like going in the background. You might see a little smoke coming out of my ears. And then every once in a while, some typing. So I'm going to get to work on that first because I'm feeling the anxiety. I'm feeling the deadline. I'm going to work on that first. And then after that, Let's see, I have my farm to table map redesign. What else would be next? Oh, I probably need to work on a different pre and post show intro for the podcast because I just feel like it might delineate that line between when I'm doing the podcast and when I'm doing my writing sprints if those intros and outros are different. So I need to create something specifically for the podcast, which I'm going to be working on. But that is not as high priority as some of the other things. Also, on my coffee shop, I'm just going to say that awkwardly until I get more used to it. um, I have added a membership tier at the lowest membership tier. If you help support me, I'm going to add a scrolling credits screen for my supporters and add them to add acknowledgments to pretty much any project that I'm working on at that point, whether it's a stream, whether it's something that I'm publishing, anything that I do is all thanks to you, my supporters. So I just appreciate you all so much. Even if you can't even if you can't support at a monetary level, the fact that you take the time to watch my streams, engage in my chat, share anything out that I'm working on means the world to me. And that is all free. So I love you all the way down to the bottom of my heart. And also, happy Pride Month, everyone. So I'm going to get to work now. I'm going to start my 50-minute timer. I'm just going to check the chat in case there's anyone there who needs to say anything. Looks like we're good. We're going to go ahead and get started in this sprint, and I will see you at the end of 5. Okay. Well, apparently music is problematic for this stream today. It's always something, folks. I think I can hear the music. You cannot hear the music because I don't see it happening in OBS. So maybe that's just what is going to have to happen today. I'm going to try this thing one more time. If it fails, back, folks. So, maybe I should just restart all the things. Okay, so this is my writing sprint stream. I started it and then I went to go start my music and everything crashed and now I'm back and now I have viewers that I didn't have before. So hello everyone. I am hopefully you're hearing music. And that was the issue that crashed everything. So hopefully you're hearing music. I'm going to get my timer going again. I am going to be working on my short horror story that I submitted to Whisper House Press. They have asked for edits, and they have graciously given me a lot of time to work on them, but that deadline is coming up, and I just need to do it because the more I put it off, the more anxiety I'm feeling about it, and I have time today, so I'm working on it first. So y'all are probably going to see me sit here with just a blank face and then I'll be typing and then there will be a blank face again. That's a little bit about what creativity is, isn't it? So I'm going to go ahead and get started now officially. Let's start the timer. I will see you at the end of this 49 minutes. Whew. Well, that was pretty timely. Okay, let me see. Where am I at in this story? Ooh, maybe about halfway through? A little less than halfway? Not bad. Not bad. Um, yeah. Let's see. So this short story that I wrote, it is in the perspective of a young woman. Um, I'm guessing probably in her early 20s, who she apparently had taken a photo with her best friend 10 years ago, and they had posted it on social media. And with Facebook, how they have, or maybe it's with some of the other social media as well, you have the reminders like, this time last year you posted this, or 10 years ago you posted this. Um, and so this is a horror story using a photo that keeps recurring in her Facebook memories or her social media memories. And the picture keeps changing. Um, and it turns out, I don't want to give anything away. Essentially, um, she's running from something. The main character, Tilly, is running from something that has been triggered by either this photo from 10 years ago or something that happened to them 10 years ago. And her best friend in the photo has died. And so this short story follows Tilly from like her quote unquote final moments before realizing what is actually happening. So when I say final moments, like I don't want to give away if she dies or if she lives or what happens to her. It is the final moments of her trying to piece together what is even happening, what is after her, why is it happening, who is it, all of those things, kind of culminating in a final climactic moment. So when I submitted this to Whisper House Press, some of the things that they had asked, let me see if I can pull up that email. This is why it's taken me so long to edit it. Is like when they asked the questions, I had the answers, but the problem, I don't want to say the problem. The challenge with short story writing is that you're typically limited by a word count. And in the case of my writing, I tend to have an iceberg of a story before I write the short story. I have an entire, probably a book in my head, the history, the who, the what, the when, the where, the why, all of it. I have it all in my head, but I can only show a moment of it, a single slice of time. And so when I write the short story, the feedback I often get is that they can feel that there's more there and they want to know more, or they have a question like, what about this? What about this? And usually I have chosen not to expand upon those items because I have to fit within the word count. And that particular thing is not the focus of the story. So, basically, the questions that were brought up were mostly of that nature. Um, you know, who was this and why didn't you expand upon this? And so, in order to, like, essentially, they would have taken my story as is, but I do want to take into account that that was the reaction from a reader who had no idea about my story from the beginning, right? The editor had no idea what they were getting into until they read my story. And so knowing that those are the reactions, I am taking a moment to clean up anything in the story that is causing unwanted confusion. There's wanted confusion and then there's unwanted confusion. Sometimes I want there to be confusion. I want you to be off your toes and wondering, like, what is this? I want you to feel that in that moment, and then trust me to reveal that to you in an appropriate time. Whereas sometimes the confusion is unwanted, like, by now, in this point in the story, you should have put two and two together that this happened. And if you haven't put two and two together, I didn't do a good job. So that's where I'm trying to go through and clean those items up. For the most part, really, it was just the beginning. I think that's probably why I'm only on page 3 of 10. How many pages is this thing? 10. So I'm on page 3 of 10 with editing. Um, but really, the beginning is always the hardest for me. And it's probably because I am a discovery writer ish, hybrid ish. So I'll usually start and then find my way. And the beginning is usually the weakest point in my story. So they picked apart a few things, like why is Tilly shutting out all the lights in the room? Is it because of this or is it because of this? Um, and what I had intended when I wrote it was that, Tilly, if you're in a horror movie, right, you run into a room. Sometimes you're not thinking straight. It feels right in the moment to be in a dark room. Like either your brain is thinking nonsensically that if I'm in a dark room, that means it's harder to find me. Or it could be, am I turning out all the lights because that prevents there from being any shadows if it's all shadow? Like there are a few things that she could be thinking. And it really is important to this particular story because there is a shadow monster. So that was important to kind of clear up. Like, is this a reflex response that makes no sense? Or is this a calculated attempt at some strategy and we don't know it yet? So I had the answer to the question. Now I just needed to clean up the beginning of my story so that the reader is understanding the context of why the lights are being shut off. What else did I work on? So there's some questioning about the timeline of things because the whole point of the story is that the event took place 10 years ago today. Then there was kind of this midpoint 5 years ago when the friend Kayla died. And it's really only from 5 years ago to now that Tilly has become involved in this thing and has slowly been trying to figure out what's going on. And now here we are in today, which is, the end of the end point of the 10 years ago today. It's today. So there's some timeline stuff I got to clean up. I still got to work on that. I forgot to set my little 10-minute timer for the break. Ugh. All right. So, let's see. I still have more to clean up. Let's see what they're asking about. Aside from the timeline in this story, yeah, there's some question about. So in this story, I really kind of took some inspiration from The Ring. Things that scare me may not scare other people, and things that scare other people may not scare me. So I'm writing from my experience. And The Ring really scared me. And it really wasn't the story. It was the visual of there being a screen that you are looking at and watching what you think is something that is on the other side of the screen. And then it comes out at you. And it comes through. It's like the thing, it was impossible for it to interact with you, but now all of a sudden it is interacting with you. How is that possible? That is terrifying to me. So that was what I was really tapping into when I was writing this story. So 10 years ago today, they posted a photo. 5 years ago today, Kayla died. And from that point, Tilly had posted as a, when someone dies, you go through your memories with them. And without thinking, she shared a photo. The same photo they took 10 years ago today. She shared that photo and she didn't even look at it. And then, of course, the comments come flooding in. Well, what's that thing in the background? What is that? What is that? And, of course, she goes looking and she's like, what? yeah, what is that? Was that there 10 years ago today? Like, was that there when we took the picture? And slowly but surely, she starts kind of finding out what that thing is, where it came from, and why it's after her. Did it kill Kayla? Question mark. There's a lot of things there, and I just have, like I said, this whole iceberg of a story, and I'm trying to figure out how to fit it into word count. So right now what I'm doing is I'm going through, I'm making my edits, really not thinking about word count at all. And then I'm going to have to go through and see if my edits added, because I was literally at limit. I was at limit before. The limit was 2,000 words, and I was at 2,000 words exactly. So the idea of editing this is causing me some anxiety because I know that I tend to go over word count every single time. Um, However, I am finding, and this may be due to being away from the story and now having fresh eyes, but I'm finding that there are some sentences that are almost like I've been able to delete like whole sentences because the information is duplicative, or I can tighten up a sentence with better word economy. So this is a really fun experiment to go through, not looking at word count at all. I want to, before I'm trying to figure out how to speak English. By the time I'm done with that first pass, I want to look at the word count and see exactly where I landed. If I actually saved words, that would be fantastic. And also, like, I've never done that. So I'm very excited to see where this lands. All right. I think, even though I didn't start my 10-minute timer, that I am at the end of my break. I'm ready to get back into work. So I'm going to skip this. There we go. Okay, so I'm now at 50 minutes again. If you join during my focus time, which if you do join during my focus time, you won't hear me say this. So just let me know what you're working on in the chat. I'm gonna, maybe, can I do this? Let me know what you're working on during this focus time and see if I can pin that. Pin. Haha. Okay, there we go. Unpin after 50 minutes. Oh boy. All right. Well, I can only have a pinned message for 30 minutes. That's very interesting. All right. Cool. All right. Let's get started on the second section of my sprint. I hope I can make it to the end of my story by this sprint. I think the second half of my story will go a lot quicker than the beginning. Let's see. Here we go. All right. All right. We are done with that focus sprint. And I know I didn't set my timer last time for the break, but there we go. I was still in BRB mode. Um, I'm not going to set a timer this time because I think this is the end of my sprint for today. I have some nerdy points I need to I need to redeem. So firstly, let's go with this. Firstly, I am such a noob with Twitch. Someone send me instructions on how to do shout outs properly, please. I have done it. I have stream elements, I have sound alerts, I've set things up and then I do the shout out and it doesn't do exactly what I think it should do. So I don't know. Everybody share with me your tips on how to do shout outs. Anyway, all right. Let's drink some water. I saw that you Broken Hoodie. I saw that you redeemed hydrate and I had no water because I've been pretty good about drinking my water today. So I couldn't hydrate in the moment and then I decided I'm going to step away. I'm going to get some water. So this is full now. Hear all that goodness that I'm drinking. Y'all didn't know this was an ASMR channel, did you? All right. So the other thing that Geeky Broken Hoodie has redeemed is Random Bean. So in case you're new to the stream, that's backwards. I have sugar-free jelly beans. Let me turn this music down a bit. It's distracting to me. I don't even know if y'all can hear it, but it is distracting to me right now. All right. So I have to watch how much sugar I take in due to gut issues. So if I could do Bertie's Harry Potter beans, whatever they're called, I would, because the idea of potentially eating a puke bean or like a what was it, like freshly mowed grass? I don't know. It sounds interesting. I would totally do it for you all, but I can't. However, I really dislike licorice. I mean, hate is a really strong word, and I reserve it for very few things in my life. I can say that I hate licorice. So anyway, however, I do like sweets, and so I have this bag, and I have been eating out of it primarily when I need a sweet snack, and I have been leaving the black ones so that there is a higher chance of getting a licorice. So, I mean, you can kind of see right now. Look at all the black ones that are in there. There's very few that are not. Actually, oh my gosh, let me look. Are they all black right now? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, okay. There's like 2, 3. There's like an orange one and a yellow one. Oh my God. So here we go, folks. This is probably going to be a clippable moment. I am closing my eyes. I'm going to face this here so y'all can see what I'm getting. Here we go. I'm closing my eyes because apparently I have a 1 in, I don't know, probably 30 chance of getting something that is not licorice. All right. Y'all can see. I don't know if y'all can see. I don't know where the camera is. Here we go. Yeah. That was licorice. Oh God. It like, you eat it and it starts out. Why are my eyes still closed? It starts out not horrible. And then it very quickly turns horrible. I don't know why people like licorice. I'm going to have to finish that in my mouth. All right. Thank you. Thank you for redeeming Random Bean. No, really, thank you. I'm going to have to go get me some more of these so I can fill this back up and increase my chances of not getting a licorice. But I figured it was about time. And also, I just have a sweet tooth. So anyway, all right. And now the first, I think, time that someone has redeemed roll for aroma. So I have here, oh my, okay, this box of essential oils that I use. There are 16 of them. It's a 4x4. And since I don't have a D16, I also have a few other bottles here on the side. All right. So I am going to roll a die. Now I don't know about y'all, but when I do, I gotta find a die first. I gotta talk and do things at the same time, which is something I've already said in my last podcast. I am not good at doing. Don't make me talk and do things at the same time. Here we go. We have a die. A D20. Oh, that's a nice purple one. I think this is a critical role die. Oh my gosh, glasses. I can't even. I think it's a Vox Machina die. Huh? CR. There we go. Yeah, okay. So I have had friends in the past who have bought me candles. I think they're called cantrip candles if you follow them at all. They make candles that are scented like the library, the ocean, things that you would encounter in your fantasy world so that you can use them for immersion in your game. If you guys are near, on the coast, you can burn the seaside candle and that's just another level of immersion in your game, which is great. And so I love that. But I have some friends who are kind of sensitive to candles. And so, especially if they're around, I won't burn my candles. They don't like the smoke. So I love using essential oils. I'll use them in my laundry, but now I can't do that with my new laundry machine, my fandangled new, thing that I can't figure out how to use. I can't use essential oils in there. So I thought, what better use than to include them in my own immersion while I'm writing. There are scents like, if I could read them. There are scents like tea tree, rosemary, eucalyptus, bergamot, lemon, lemongrass, cedarwood, patchouli, lavender, frankincense, turmeric, tangerine, sweet orange, peppermint, basil, ylang ylang. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I'm probably butchering it. I also have some scent that I don't know what it's defining. It's like Goodnight Dreams. I don't know what scent that is supposed to be. Oregano, Digest Zen, which is actually it's meant to increase digestion. It's very, very interesting. And did I already say lavender? I know I have an extra one here. Anyway, so what I do is I just dab a little bit here, and just every once in a while, that scent, it's like so revitalizing. It's so calming. It's just peaceful. It's amazing. All right, let's roll. Let's see what number we get. What am I going to smell like today? Wow. I rolled a 1. Typically, any scent is a good scent, right? It's just so funny that rolling a 1, like I immediately go, wow, that was a bad roll. But it can't be a bad roll because that means I'm going to smell like tea tree, which is not a horrible scent. I wish you guys had smell-o-vision here. I'm like, go here, smell in the microphone right there. It's very herbal and like, I want to use the word ungent. It's a very poignant smell. It's like a leaf. I am trying to figure out how to describe this smell. It's so good. It's very crisp and herbal and just green. Like almost a slight menthol smell to it. All right. So here we go. Go dab a little. I love this. Thank you for redeeming this. I love this. Okay. It almost feels like I'm like in a forest, a very green forest. Oh, I love it. Thank you for redeeming that. All right. So now I get to smell that while I continue to work throughout the day. Let me put this dice back so I don't lose it. What do we have here in the chat? You should get a sniff sound effect to go with the redeem. Yes, I should. Also, let me tell you, um, if you don't have a Filipino in your life, go find one and ask them about this because it is normal to me. But it's one of the few things that people will point out when they get to know me and we get to be hanging out in more intimate settings. Um, Typically, growing up, my aunts, my grandma, my uncles, my family, when they hug you, they don't. Some people you hug when you see each other. Some people you hug and a kiss on the cheek, something like that as a greeting. With my family, you hug and you sniff. And it's not just a light sniff. Like, and it's not a creepy sniff like let me smell your hair. It's like a I'm going to like inhale your skin kind of a smell, and that is how we greet each other. and and I mean, obviously people do that to babies, right? There's that baby smell, but like no, this continues on into your adulthood, into now. It's a sniff thing. So that might also be why I very much love having the immersion of smells around me when I'm working. So I very much appreciate this. And I think because of that, I definitely need a sniff sound. I need a sniff sound when I redeem this. Thank you so much for that idea. I'm going to put it on my list of things to do. All right, so let's talk a little bit about work here since we just finished off a sprint. All right, folks, some writer talk real quick. As I'm surrounded by lush green forest. So oh boy, writer talk. Where do I begin? So I typically want to write in third person. That tends to go hand in hand when you write science fiction, fantasy. They tend to be written in third person. However, in the short stories that I've written and obviously in script format, you're kind of like in a first person perspective. I had written this short story in third person and then realized it needed to be in first person because just the internal perspective, you're experiencing her terror in her quote unquote final moments, and you're experiencing her piecing together this puzzle. So you need to be in her brain. So I rewrote after the first attempt. I rewrote it in first person, and now what I'm struggling with now that I'm about little more than halfway through this edit is the timing of everything, because originally I wrote it as, it's called 10 years ago today. It's about a Facebook memory essentially that has popped up. It's a photo from 10 years ago today. But for her, the action doesn't really begin until 5 years ago today when her friend died. And then she reposted the photo. So there's this kind of questionable timeline of what's happening when she's figuring everything out. Is it happening 5 years ago when she posted that photo again? Or is it happening right now while she's locked herself away in the bathroom and she's recounting the things that have happened in the last 5 years? That's kind of the struggle I'm going through of cleaning up this story. And as I got about halfway through that whole bathroom internal research that she's doing, I think I kind of realized that as much as I want my vision to be that throughout the years she has been researching and on top of it, there's no space in the story for that. I don't have enough words to meet the word count and bring you along a multi-year journey. So I think what needs to happen is I need to rewrite that whole section. So what I thought was going to be a quick edit and pass through, now it's like the last few minutes of that writing sprint, I was like, I just had that like sinking feeling in my gut of this is going to be a much more intensive rewrite than I thought, because now I think I want to rewrite it so that she is figuring everything out in the bathroom, because I just think it will make so much more sense to the reader, and it will have you not wondering, but where are we in the timeline right now? You know, you're in the bathroom and she is going through her memories versus something that happened 10 years ago today, something that happened 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. That had been the original intent, was that I would have like just little snippets of some information 10 years ago today, 9 years ago today, all the way down. So it felt like a countdown, and it felt like you were like the tension would kind of ramp up because you knew it was a countdown. And now I think I just have to let go of that vision because I just don't think it works. I think it's going to cause more confusion than tension, right? So I'm just going to give up that little darling, which means I'm going to have to do a little bit more of an intensive rewrite, which I can probably continue doing. Let me see. I do have another 50 minutes. It's 2:00. This week is crazy. Like I know I'm going to need to continue working on this, but I also feel like I need to take a moment, because this is kind of what happens to me, right? Like, oh, it's going to be so frustrating if I go through that entire rewrite and then it still doesn't work. You get a little frustrated, and then the creativity, I don't know about you, but for me, once I get frustrated, it's like I'm working in my genius. Why am I getting frustrated? And that just kind of compounds itself. So I think what I'm going to do is actually take a moment. I am going to go ahead and finish up today's stream, because I think I need it to sit and rattle around in my head so that I can kind of like round out its edges before I tackle a big rewrite like that. So this was a good stream all in all. It felt really good to do a more fiction writing in this stream than game writing, because game writing feels a little more it feels a little more chaotic in that, like, oh, I need to update this. Oh, wait, but this touches this. So now I need to update this. Oh, wait, this also touches these three other things. And now I need to make art for it. And like, so there's all these things. Whereas with fiction writing, it's very much just like think and write. And that felt very good. That felt very soothing to me. I think I needed that. So, I appreciate y'all joining along. Thank you for redeeming some of those fun things. And I am probably not going to be online again until next Monday. However, that doesn't mean that I won't be like on my socials, obviously, sharing a bunch of things, because things will be happening. Birthdays, graduation, family. Feel free to join my Discord if you aren't on there already, because there are moments where I have pockets of time that aren't as dedicated to full focus. And I will drop into my Discord and I will do something very similar where I'm just kind of, it's more like an open office hours. I'm just there. Pop in if you want to chat. Pop in if you have a question. Pop in to work alongside me if you want. I'm usually not on screen there, but yeah. So check out my server if you want something that's a little more, like less focused. And I might be there throughout the week. Otherwise, I will see you all. I hope you have a productive writing time. Yeah. Yeah, I can feel my brain dipping. I'm like, I don't even have a great way to end this. So, happy birthday to me. I'm going to be 47. I had to think about that for a minute. I'm going to be 47, folks. And you know what I'm going to gift myself? I've been actually telling myself I was going to do this for a very long time. I'm going to get myself a membership to Gamma. Gamma, if you don't know, I have to look it up real quick. Gamma.org, the Gamma Tabletop Game Association. So there are some benefits to signing up as a member, and alongside that is having tickets to Gamma Expo and being able to do some business to business networking at those events. So, oh, thank you for my happy birthday message. So I'd been asking for it for like Christmas for the last couple of years, or my birthday, and I was just going to do it, and then I didn't, and life, and And then I told myself I'm not ready yet for it because I don't even have any products. But here I am this year, like, I'm slated to have a bunch of stuff out by the end of this year. It's all going to be like a slamming fourth quarter this year. It's giving me a little anxiety, but there's a lot of stuff. So I no longer have the excuse that I'm not ready. I will have things that are my own that are published, aside from many things that I've contributed to that will be published. No longer can I say that I'm not some kind of industry professional. So it's time to become a part of Gamma, and I'm going to gift that to myself. And so I'll let y'all know what that's like and what that means and how it helps. The other one I would suggest for anyone who is female is Women in Toys. I believe it's called Women in Toys, WIT, with a Women in Toys. If you are a female, yeah, Women in Toys. Kind of like a miniature version of Gamma, specifically for women, that highlights women in the gaming industry. That has been one I've kept my eye on for a while as well, and I know some people that are part of that organization. But overall, when I ask them, like, should I join Women in Toys or should I join Gamma? Across the board, people say Gamma. So that's the first one. And then maybe next year for my birthday, I'll do Women in Toys. All right, folks, I'm going to let you go. I said it before. I drew it on because I don't know why. All right, folks, I hope you have a wonderful week, a wonderful weekend. I'm going to have a good birthday and graduation. I will see you all next week. Thank you.